Hey folks, my name is Mo Amir and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. Tonight, municipal elections across BC are over and most of you did not bother to vote, but that is not going to deter us from talking about some of the big picture fallout from the municipal elections. And we're going to kick things off with a very special guest. He is the City of Vancouver's new mayor-elect, the city's first Chinese-Canadian mayor. He received the most votes ever received by a candidate in the history of Vancouver municipal elections, and every single one of his party's candidates was elected. Representing a better city, ABC Vancouver, he is Mayor-elect Ken Sim. Ken, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks, Mo. Really appreciate it.
How'd you do it, this clean sweep? How'd you get it done?
Well, I'd like to say we. There are a lot of us, and we just worked really, really hard. We basically got out early. By that, I mean 4 years ago.
Sure.
Actually, no, I'd say three years and 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And we just we started reaching out, and then as time went on, we attracted three candidates who were sitting in council that I ran with last election, which would be Councillor Lisa Dominato, Councillor Sarah Kirby-Young, and Councillor Rebecca Bly. Mm-hmm. And that sort of set the spark for all the other individuals that came on board. And then we just reached out to the community. We knocked on 74,358 doors. It's actually a real stat. We actually tracked that stat.
I love that.
We made over 250,000 phone calls. We had individuals in all these different communities that were reaching out, and it was a movement, and it was a movement bigger than any one person, including myself.
It was a hell of a campaign, and certainly the results show that. Mm-hmm. I got to ask you though, one concern that I'm hearing about your campaign, about your party, is that you might have a cozy relationship with the Vancouver Police. Now, obviously, the Vancouver Police Union did endorse you, a very unprecedented move, and they endorsed ABC Vancouver. And so some folks are saying, well, now you have to sit on the Vancouver Police Board. So maybe you'll be a little more favorable to the police and ignore things like police accountability or social services for marginalized folks or other people in the community. So what's your response to that concern that you'll be a little more beholden to police than you should be as the mayor of Vancouver?
Well, I don't think we're beholden to anyone but for the residents of Vancouver. At the end of the day, we take the office of mayor and council and park and school board incredibly seriously. Mm-hmm. And if people ever lose confidence in those institutions, which are bigger than any one person, then we run into problems. And people just want transparency. They want a pragmatic approach to things. And so, yes, we did get an endorsement by the Vancouver Police Union. We actually got endorsements by, soccer associations as well. And look, everyone's going to be treated the same. What we have to realize is two things. One, public safety is a big issue in our city. And so, we ran on a mandate of we want to have, more public safety in our city. We're going to hire 100 police officers and 100 mental health nurses. And we let the city of Vancouver decide if they wanted that or not. And they gave us a resounding yes. And so that's what we're going to do. But make no mistake about it. People different groups in our organization, everyone has to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. And so if you do amazing things, awesome. And, if you do things that, aren't necessarily appropriate or need, to be improved, you should be held accountable.
Let's talk about that promise to hire 100 new cops and 100 new mental health nurses and have them in the city of Vancouver. What does that timeline look like? Is that one of those things that after your 4-year term, you're going to say, hey, we hired the 200 people, or is that something that's going to be done right away? I'm not just talking about the requisition. I'm talking about those people actually working in the city of Vancouver. Yeah,
we're gonna move on this very quickly, and so as soon as we're in that chamber, we committed to the entire city that'd be one of the first things we do. Yeah. And so we have painted the vision that that's what we want. We will allocate the resources accordingly, and then we will ask the VPD to start on it effective immediately. And
do you expect those 200 folks to be working within a year?
I would hope so. These are operational challenges, though, and it's pretty dynamic. Now, what we do know is everything we did a lot of research and we spoke to stakeholders. And when we spoke to the VPD, they feel very confident that they can pull this off in a year. The precedent is in 2010, during the Olympics, they hired 200 officers. We also have, the VPD, it's a destination police force where people would love to work at that police force. And then thirdly, the situation's dynamic. In Surrey, for example, they have issues going on with their police force as well. And look, we support all of our regional partners. The point is, situations change, and we might be surprised with a situation changes, and then actually we might be put in a position where we can actually hire a lot more people faster.
Yeah.
But the point is, we are going to hire 100 new additional officers, 100 new mental health workers. It's based on evidence and track record. It's an extension of the CAR 87 program that's already in existence, and we all know it works. So we're going to give the VPD direction to do it and then provide them with resources to make it happen.
Sure. I want to ask you about housing as well, and something that was in your housing platform. When you talk about streamlining the development permitting process and making it more efficient, and I know you keep saying that you're a black belt in lean.
That's the only black belt I could get. So
I know you've said that several times on the campaign trail. When we're talking about creating a system where this backlog is digested in a quicker way, I mean, doesn't that mean either hiring more bodies to actually process these permits or these applications, or creating a system of automation? And doesn't that bear, new costs? Like, it seems like there's only so much you can do on an efficiency level to really make it where it is, one of Metro Vancouver's fastest development processes.
No, okay. So there's about 6 different things that we can cover off there. You really have to look at the workflow. And so at the risk of getting a little geeky here, throwing people or technology at any problem without understanding the problem or process is a recipe for a potential disaster. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to break out the workflow and look at all the different steps and see what steps we can eliminate that don't add any value. And by that, we will shorten the process. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example in our business.
Sure.
For example, we have an accounting function. It used to take us forever to do payroll. And when we broke out the 37 steps on how to do payroll, one of the steps was, our accountant was waiting 540 minutes for the computer to run the program.
Wow.
The solution was, buy a new computer.
Yeah.
And we got it down to 20 minutes.
Wow.
And so what we need to do is we need to break down the processes, and then we allocate the resources, or we eliminate steps. I'll give you an example with laneway houses, for example, to give your viewers confidence that this actually works. Okay, a laneway house, right now it takes 8 months to 2 years to get a permit to build a laneway house.
Yeah.
Now, we have standardized builds, right, that have been done hundreds of times in our city. And you also have areas that are already approved for laneway houses.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting 8 months to 2 years for that permit if you already know that you have those two pieces? Right. This is something where you should actually be able to go online, go click, met those two requirements. You get your permit. We will still inspect and do all the things that make sure that the house is built safely, and we'll make sure the plans make sense. But really, we can eliminate 8 months to 2 years off this process. That's a simple example of the type of things that we're going to do.
Sure.
And look, that process didn't take any more people or take any more resources. We actually radically simplified the process.
I guess the point I'm getting at really quickly is that you hear this promise from so many people that we're going to make things efficient and streamlined. So in 10 seconds or less, you're promising that you're going to be the guy that's actually going to do it.
Yes, I understand workflow, and we are going to, bring on the resources and the attitude on how to address these challenges.
Well, I think a lot of people are waiting for that and hoping that you are successful in that ambition. So Ken, again, congratulations, and thank you so much for your time tonight.
Great, thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. Folks, that was Vancouver's brand new mayor, Vancouver's mayor-elect, representing a better city, ABC Vancouver. He is Mayor Ken Sim. Now, after some business, let's zoom out a little bit and let's see if the municipal elections across BC's 160 municipalities taught us anything this year? The Vancouver Sun's Dan Fumano is up next. I'm Mo Amir. This is VANCOLOUR.